I think languages and communication is so important, really just because it's we as human beings, it's what we use to connect with each other. So our verbal skills, our language skills are what what creates, I think in some ways really creates a common humanity. And effective language, effective communication, when you can see and feel the person behind the words and the passion behind the words, makes such a difference in life. And whether that is political, whether that is government, whether that is private sector, effective communication is ultimately just a good and very, very powerful thing. You can actually communicate your message, explain to people why either your product is best or the service you're providing is the most effective. You'll obviously gain more customers. And from where I sit, from a government standpoint, it's incredibly important for us to be as good and strong communicators as we can be, because we do very, very important work all the time. And I think it is important. And I don't think we're very good at this all the time. I think it's very, very important for governments to explain to people in a very open and honest way, diplomacy, foreign policy, domestic policy, whatever it is. And so that's what I talked a little bit about today. Very often, and this is a generalization, of course, that an effective politician will seize the same sorts of things that you've seen successful corporations or human beings, generally speaking, great orators, great speakers. They'll seize on that same magic, which is capture words that are meaningful. If you are a politician that does not believe what they are saying, does not fully embrace the words coming out of their mouth, I believe they will not resonate with voters. In the same way that, if there is real passion and belief behind their words, they will. So I think Jon Favreau, who's going to be speaking a bit later today, was so good at this and working so closely with the president to try to, not to create words for the president, but working with who he was and who his message is to best, capitalize and best capture that spirit. And that's incredibly special talent, I think. When you're developing a message, whatever your job is, speak from the heart, say what you believe, and listen, I think. Because in order for you to be a good communicator, you actually have to understand your audience. So you need to understand who you're speaking to. You need to take feedback, and I think in that two-way conversation, that two-way communication is probably the most effective. Is probably the best way to be more effective. Truly, it's communicating with Danes in a way that they haven't been communicated with before by an American ambassador. I try to open up a two-way dialogue with Danes. I try to go into whether it's schools or boardrooms or community centers all over the country and engage Danes on a variety of different issues, whether it's about American foreign policy, European foreign policy, American domestic policy, or even just my personal opinions. I think it's really important there is humanity in diplomacy. I think sometimes it becomes too sterile, and I think that it's important to remember why initially we sent human beings to other foreign capitals in order to do this job. Ultimately, it's about personal relationships. It's about an ambassador connecting with the leaders and the people of the country that they're serving in. And language is such an important part of that. So from where I sit, that's what I hope people take away from this.